Hi guys, I'm Lauren. Welcome to my channel. It's so good to see you guys. Thank you guys for popping in. Oh my gosh. If you've watched my videos previously, the backdrop is a little different from normal. Normally I'm over there on my sofa with the blue and the pretty plants, and this was the project I did, not the last video before that. And essentially when I made this project, I made a huge mess over there because, you know, that's just how it goes. You make one place pretty and then the other place is destroyed, and that's just my life. So, but I really want to do an entire plant tour in my next video, so make sure you subscribe if you're into plant tours. And in this video, I'm gonna go around and make everything look nice and clean up my previous mess. And honestly, I kind of feel like this is something that we really need to talk about, because a lot of times what you'll see in the plant videos is essentially just people moving around plants here and there, maybe dumping some leca balls aesthetically, you know, mixing up some soil. Not all people do it this way, but a lot of people, especially I noticed here on YouTube and on Instagram, they have this thing that everything's got to look perfect and be aesthetically pleasing, and that's just not the reality of plant parenthood. I've got dirt over here. I'm sitting on dirt right now. There's dirt over there. I've got sphagnum and bark chilling on my floor. I need to vacuum. I need to wipe down things. I need to change saucers. And these are part of the things that come with having plants. It is a lot of time and a lot of care, and I have about 200 plants at this point, and that takes a lot. So I just kind of wanted to go over some of those things today, and I really wanted to address that before we dived in, and that's what you're going to be seeing today. It's not going to all be aesthetically pleasing. It's going to be, this is real life, you know? This is really how it is, guys. And if you are a new plant parent, a beginner plant parent, and you are just kind of diving into plants, you just bought your first snake plant and shoved it on your mantle for the holiday, you know, or your first croton, because they seem to be everywhere. What is that? First plant, you just shoved it up on the mantle and you are thinking about getting more. This is something to keep in mind. The more plants you have, the more mess they make, the more time they take, the more new leaves they give, the more rewarding they are. You do get that serotonin boost from them, and they do bring you a lot of joy, but it's a give and take relationship. So it's just kind of something to keep in mind. We're going to rearrange some stuff. We're going to clean some stuff up. We're just going to have some good old-fashioned planty fun. I don't know how much talking I'll do with this, honestly. I don't know. So we're just gonna wing it, and we're gonna have some fun. Grab your drink. If you need to repot or clean too, go ahead and put this on in the background or whatever, and we're just gonna vibe together. We're just gonna have a good time, okay? Let's get into it. Alright, so first up is this very neglected Maranta Beauty Kim. I let it dry out way too much. It's in terracotta. I should have been bottom watering it and letting it soak up, and I've just been dumping a little bit of water on top here and there every once in a while when I realized it needed water. And my result was extra crispy bits and extra crispy leaves and just a very not happy plant overall. So I'm gonna kind of work on that a little bit today and make sure that this plant gets a little bit of extra love. So if you have a Maranta where all the leaves are getting all crispy, that's why. Probably. 9 times out of 10. Right, so I made a boo-boo with all of this. I went to go and water these plants using the saucer that was underneath the Maranta that I was chopping up. This one right here, it still has crispy tips. I'll take care of that in a minute. But this saucer actually has a crack in it, so I poured a boatload of water in it, and then I walked away and came back to all of this water everywhere all over the table. And I have put the Scindapsus in here to soak up the water, hopefully, because it just drinks up really quickly. And then luckily I had these towels so I could just wipe it all up. None of it got on the floor. It didn't ruin my table, which I'm grateful for, because I put this shelf liner over top of it. Just in case, but yeah. I did thrift this table and remake the entire thing. It's very messy underneath. I want to get that stuff out, but I am very glad that the table didn't get ruined when I did all of that. And then I've got a calathea in the back corner there, and then I've got the Maranta, and then the Scindapsus here. So I'm just going to let it soak up the last remnants of water, and then I'll kind of wipe this off, and then I'll get started on the next project. Been a very eventful day. Alright, so this is the Maranta lemon lime up here. It's been blooming for the entire spring and summer. There's so many blooms. I've chopped them off and they pushed out more blooms. And I've needed to chop it up because it's basically just one strand that has come all the way down and out. And then it kept pushing out new leaves, and today is the day. It's got 2 new leaves on it, one still unfurling. We're pulling it out. We're going to do it anyway. It's been there the whole season. Oh my gosh, it definitely needs a repot. Look at those roots. Oh my god, you poor plant. Alright, so we're going to take care of this today because clearly it needs a repot. It needs some love. Alright, you can see here it's just the one strand in there. It needs a soil refresh. It needs to be chopped back. Calathea, I know Maranta are put up there with Calathea. They're both prayer plants. They're in the same Marantaceae family. Maranta have nodes and they can be propagated in water. So I'm going to chop and prop this. Calathea, however, cannot. So don't go chopping up your Calathea thinking that it's going to do stuff. They have to be divided. But you can kind of see the node here, and then I'm just going to try to kind of chop in between the nodes. I have a whole other video on it. This is not the first time I've done this. But we're just going to chop this really quick, and I'm going to chop off the little crispy bits. We're just going to make it work. You can see it's got the new leaf there, and then it just put out a brand new leaf. It is going to push out smaller growth after chopping it up. That's just what they do. And then it will make bigger leaves after that. And it will not cause it to lose that leaf that is unfurling there. So that's kind of nice as well. And then I'm just going to root these in water and I'll propagate it. And, you know, I'll repot it up later and make for a more full looking, happier plant. But I really need to get this plant out of this pot that it's in and kind of redo it. And I will chop off all those extra little flower bits there in just a minute. And you always want to remove like the brown dead sheaths because they can have pests living in them. That's actually another Greenhouse Girl 94 tip right there. So you just want anything crispy, you just want to get rid of it. Pests will love it. They'll sit there, they'll munch, and it'll become like a little snackable for them. And we just don't want that. So we're just going to get rid of all of that. Well, clearly it has been thriving. I am so sorry, Maranta. I got this as a cutting, and then I got it as a cutting, I want to say in February or January. I am going to cut off these roots. There's no way I would be able to preserve them, and I'd rather make a clean cut than tear them, trying to get them out of this pot. So that is sadly what I am having to do here. But you can see great root system here. I keep it in a cash po up there. I'm just gonna kind of repot it here, make it work, give it a little bit of fresh soil. I'm not gonna do anything too crazy to it right now. I'm just gonna add some more fresh soil on top because I am basically going to unpot and repot the entire thing after these cuttings have rooted anyway. So that's why I'm not removing any of the older soil, even though Maranta can handle that. So just so you know what's going on with that and my mentality there. And I'm going to wait for that longer bit to die back and I'll cut it back more later. But yeah. We're just going to go ahead and set it back where it goes for right now. And there we go. It was clearly happy and thriving there. So we're just going to keep that going. Those are the 2 oldest leaves. And then here, I'm just going to take all of these cuttings and I'm just going to put them in water. Nothing fancy. This is a plastic party cup with glitter sparkles in it. It makes me happy. So we're going to shove this in a window and let these get some sun and soak up some water and be happy little Maranta for right now. I absolutely love the coloring on this lemon lime Maranta. There's just something about the multiple shades of green and the veination on it. It's just, oh my gosh, it's amazing. Highly recommend it if you don't have it already.
Alright, so I do have to clean this greenhouse. This fern has been sitting back here since before the heat wave of July, and it's had crispy bits. It's been doing really well, but it just needs to be trimmed up. Sorry, the thing's in the way. There we go. So as you can see, I've got everything else out. The fern is doing great. It's got a lot of brand new growth, lush growth. I just want to get those old ones out. Here, let me bring it out here so you can see better. Check that out. It's got its little spores going, so it's trying to reproduce. It's a very, very happy fern. You see that? The brown ones are the ones that are about to pollinate, and then the lighter green ones are not ready to fall off and reproduce yet, but it's really cool. You can actually chop off the frond and you put it in an envelope and you can save it, and then you can add it to sterilized soil or some damp sphagnum, and it will grow all new ferns for you. And that's basically the fern's version of seeds. It's really cool. But I'm not going to be doing any of that today. I am just trying to trim off the dead ends. With these, because the stems, with this particular fern, I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head. I'm sorry. You'll have to watch my plant tour video for that, because I don't remember what it's called, and I'll make sure to put the name on the bottom of the screen for that one. I'm sorry. But because the stems are a dark brown, whether they're healthy stems or not, I am just following the stem all the way to the base from the brown crispy one and then chopping it at the base. So, if that makes sense. You can see it looks so much happier. It's a beautiful happy fern. Alright, as you can see, I was able to get most everything out of here. I'm just going to get this last little bit out. And you can tell that it is very dirty. Even though it just has plants sitting in it, it gets very dirty. So I am going to be cleaning it with this rubbing alcohol and a soft cloth. I'm not using any harsh chemicals. It does get off any water stains and whatnot. This is just an inexpensive $30 greenhouse. I kind of layered it so that if one shelf gets pests, then all of the rest of the shelves will not get pests. I also spray painted it white and kind of gave it like a little bit of a I don't know, just a happier aesthetic. I don't know. I like it better than being all green like it was before. It's just a $30 greenhouse though. But it's really important to keep it all clean. I wiped all this down, and that'll just help keep any pests down if one of the plants happen to get pests, and it wouldn't spread all over the place. And it makes for a not so pest friendly environment. These are all the leaves that I have removed. As you can see, most of them are dead, crispy ones. The one Syngonium one I did want to remove just because it looked a little funky to me. I did find this plastic tray, and I think it will be a perfect thing for all of these little tiny glass bottles to go in. Eventually I do want to build them like an actual propagation station to hang on the wall. I don't have it right now. We're just making do with what we've got. So all of these little jars and bottles are just going to go on this little plastic tray. I'm going to clean off another shelf area on a windowsill so that it can get more light, and then hopefully they'll get bigger enough. They'll get big enough fast enough that I can pot them up, and then I'll be able to clean these out and utilize it to make a, yeah, you can see the trend here. This is how my brain works. This is my life. Do this to do that to do this. It's just always constant stuff. But it's fun. I really love doing it. So let me know if you have kind of a similar situation going on in your home. Comment below. Let me know I'm not alone. But yes, as you can see, there's just quite a bit. I'm not going to go through them all. So this is where I took everything off the shelf there. I'm going to use the rubbing alcohol to clean these shelves just like I did the greenhouse. The same situation. Just going to wipe all of these down. It's really boring, tedious stuff, but it is satisfying to see it so clean afterwards. And like I said, it definitely helps to keep all of the pests down. So, and I like that the alcohol doesn't damage the plants. I actually use it to treat my pests, or I actually use it to treat my plants for mealybugs. So it's actually good for the plants, sort of. It's not going to damage them. I've even used it on my calathea leaves, and it's been good. Definitely a lot better than a lot of the chemicals out there, so that's why I kind of stick to the basics for that. Alright, so I got everything off there. I got it put on the nice clean shelves, all nice and organized and pretty. I'll go over every single plant in my next video, so make sure you subscribe so you can see that, or I will link it above. This is where I ended up putting the propagation station. I did end up weighing it down with some bigger propagation stations, and then I've got a couple plants bottom watered. I need to wipe that up because I didn't bottom water that. But overall, everything is looking so much nicer. Just wiping it down makes such a huge difference, even though it's such a small thing. I really like how this is over here, and I think it's going to get a lot of light with these afternoon windows, and it's just going to be so much happier. And I like having the Tradescantia next to other Tradescantia. I don't know why that is the one type of plant that just seems to look better altogether. I don't know. Alright, so I'm going to move these now that I got all of the little propagation jars out of the way. I'm just going to kind of shuffle everything off of here so I can wipe it off. And then I am going to clean all the leaves of the plants that were over here, just in case, because there was just a lot with a lot of mess, and I just kind of want to pre-treat them in advance. I'll spray some insecticidal soap and wipe them down, but I'm just going to wipe this down first. And it's just the same rag with the isopropyl alcohol, with the rubbing alcohol basically. Alright, and I've wiped it all down. I'm just going to put these calathea right back. I'm not going to do any crazy restyling. I'm just going to scoot them kind of over, make sure they look nice. They are all doing great here. I do not want to move them and mess it up. Once you get them happy, you just leave them alone. You don't mess with it. So they like the light, they like the watering, they like their pots. We're just going to leave them alone. I did clean them. That's it.
Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Hopefully you enjoyed this. And remember to subscribe for upcoming updates. If you want to chit chat about plants, hit me up on Instagram, or I'm on TikTok daily as well. And I've got 2 more videos right here, just like always. Yeah, I hope to see you around the plant community. See you in the next one. Bye!